It's Walt, backstage, Queued Up Artist Showcase with Superorganism, and we are here having a beer with the band with Two Brothers Artisan Brewing. Guys, thanks so much for letting me bust in on your dressing room while you're getting ready for the show tonight.
No problem.
So I'm psyched because you guys experienced some Chicago deep dish pizza tonight.
Oh my god, I'm still experiencing it right now.
Yeah. What did you think?
Amazing.
Very religious experience. I feel like I can see God right
Jesus.
now. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus. I think Kanye needs to do a new record called Jesus.
Yeah.
Chicago guy.
I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's time.
It's too close to Lily Allen's Jesus.
Yeah, it's
So-
okay.
That's what I was
Jesus.
saying. Yeah.
So how's this tour been going for you guys so far? I mean, how many shows do you think you've done since launching it?
Oh.
Well,
I think we did like 30 shows this year. I counted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
have some
around
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We did some of those
We've done
shows
like 10 in the US.
before the album came out. So I think we did like 10 shows before the album came out, and then we've maybe done.
Yeah, so we've been on
20
tour for a
since
little
then.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all going into one big awesome show.
Yeah.
What's the biggest? There are 8 members in this band. 7 of you guys tour. What are the challenges with that? Because I was in a band and I had 4 or 5 guys that I had to deal with, and that was tough.
Yeah.
Now with 7 of you, do you have problems because of that?
It's better. It's better because there's way more of us, so you can go off and do your own thing with just 1 or 2 people. I mean, we're just like a massive family, so there's lots of us to hang out with. Yeah.
Are there?
I would say that the biggest challenge is getting everybody to move from one place to another.
Right.
So like when we went for deep dish before, it's like, all right, everybody ready to go eat some pizza? And everyone's like, yeah. And then you go out and stand on the street for like 5 minutes while everyone faffs around, and someone's disappeared. Where's Soul gone? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like herding cats.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, which is impossible. So, record came out, Superorganism. How hard was it to put together these songs, being that there are 8 members? How much input did each member have?
Well, I mean, it seems to just come together very naturally and very easily. Like, when we're in the process of making these songs, I think that we all get a little bit swept up and just... It's kind of like a weird little dream, when you look back on it in hindsight. It just kind of happens, and it's very natural, and then at a certain point, we just work on something until everybody just agrees that it's done.
Yeah, it's quite collagey. It's like we're sending these files to each other and people are adding bits, and so everyone kind of has the thing that they best at, and then people also constantly surprising each other, pulling out different bits and pieces. It's sort of like no particular rules. It's just sort of show us cool stuff. Let's show each other all of our ideas.
I mean, that's pretty cool to not have any rules. How different can we be, right?
Yeah. I like to see it as like anarchy in action, like actually working, because it's like you always think about like the idea of like an anarchic system just being inherently going to fail or whatever, but it's interesting when you work with a group of creative people, and it's just like, hey, if B has a reservation about a song or whatever, then everyone's going to take it seriously, and so you end up just kind of getting this filter that it has to pass through.
So is it a true democracy?
Well, anarchy, I would say, because democracy implies some sort of organization and some sort of centralized structure to it, which I don't know.
Yeah. I got you. That's actually a good answer for that. So the song that really kind of kicked it all off, Something for Your Mind, did you know right away that there was something special about that and that you were moving in the right direction? And what was the thing about that song that was like, oh yeah, this is the right direction?
I mean, it definitely jumped out at us when we first heard it, when Orono sent the first kind of version of it back with her vocal on it. But I mean, yeah, we hoped it would do well, of course, but we never imagined anything.
Right.
This, of course. We thought it was cool.
I thought it was all right. We were like, let's do another song. This is cool. Like, that was the extent of it was awesome. It was like really exciting because like all of this stuff for us is like very much just kind of trying to just have fun and kind of muck around. Like, that's super important, I think. I think that's the only way to make cool like music and stuff, is just like to just do what feels good and kind of keep it quite like relaxed like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny to think about because it's a very like childlike process in that regard. Because you just kind of do things impulsively, and you know, it's very much about pleasing yourselves, you know, on an artistic level and even just on an amusement level. So you just do these things, and then it comes together, and then suddenly you've got a cool song, and then you're going to release it, and people like it, and it just happens very organically.
It'd be pretty miserable if you were making music that you didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that some people do.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure you're right.
Yeah.
They see the paycheck and it's just like, all right, I'll do country or whatever it is. Orno, what was it that you heard about Something for Your Mind that made you come up with the lyrics and the vocal track that you did?
I don't know. I just thought it sounded good, and I think that's the general theme of our band. It's like, hey, this sounds good. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I hear it.
So now you're on the road, you're doing shows, you're going to be back this summer here in Chicago playing Lollapalooza. That's got to be pretty exciting. One of my favorite festivals that I've been to. What else do you have planned for the summer?
Oh man.
Fuji Rock.
Fuji Rock.
Fuji Rock.
Fuji Rock.
We're going to Australia in the Australian winter.
You're going in Australian winter, so...
And then I don't know. We're just touring all around the place, man. It's gonna be crazy. One thing I'm curious about is because Lollapalooza. Am I right in thinking that's the like Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction?
Yep.
I wonder if he's just cruising around backstage.
Oh, absolutely. Every year.
Really?
Absolutely.
Cool.
You know what? He actually, they just did Lollapalooza, Brazil, and Chile the past 2 weekends, and Pearl Jam was headlining one night, and he came out with Pearl Jam, and they did Mountain Song together. So maybe you'll be the band that he comes out and does a Jane Says or something like that.
Do I wonder?
I don't-
Coax him out.
He could come out and do this Something for Your Mind.
He would totally do that. So Perry, the invite's out. There you go. Well, guys, I hope you have an incredible show tonight. Thanks for taking some time to hang, having a beer with the band. Two Brothers Artisan Brewing, backstage with Superorganism and 101 WKQX.